With 5 days before Gareth Southgate announces his England squad for Euro 2020, I will give you a video where I would say who I would pick, and I'm going to be realistic as I possibly can. So I don't think we don't have any injuries that will confirm players missing the tournaments in the same way Marc-Andre ter Stegen will be for Germany, but I'm going to be giving you the 26 players I'd personally pick. I'm Matty from the Matt's channel, and let's get right into it. Starting with the goalkeepers, this is going to be straightforward. Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, Dean Henderson. Jordan Pickford played at the last World Cup. Gareth Southgate trusts him, and chances are he's going to be the one that's starting. Nick Pope being very consistent for Burnley. Dean Henderson, I personally would pick him to start, but the problem is that he hasn't played anywhere near enough games that the other two have for their clubs, and he's only played one second half for England. So this year won't be his year, but nonetheless, them three are no-brainers. Next we go to right back, and I've gone with three. Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Kyle Walker has been excellent this season. I think there were many doubters of him after he'd got sent off against Iceland, but been excellent in contributing to Manchester City being English champions. Kieran Trippier, he looks to be the La Liga winning right back, playing for Atletico Madrid. People don't personally pick them, and that's probably because they support one of the other top six Premier League teams. It's not always the case, but there does tend to be some kind of bias. But he's been excellent for club and country. I mean, if you're Atletico Madrid, you wouldn't go try and sign Kieran Trippier if you didn't think he was good. I mean, he's had a very good season defensively, and he's contributed to 6 assists as a right wing back. Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's been a hit and miss, probably more misses for this season. I mean, he does give something different compared to some of the other right backs that are on offer. Very good cross with the ball. He's an option. Would be my third choice. I think the other right back will be Reece James, which I don't think he's even top. I think he's probably 5th best behind the three I mentioned and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But I think he'll get into the squad, but I don't think he is as good as people say he is. He's 6 or 7 out of 10 for me. He's a good defender with some skillful attributes defensively and offensively, but still, I don't think he is as good as these the 4 right backs. But I do think he will go, and I'll say this: if Reece James starts one of the first 2 games against Croatia and Scotland respectively, I will sleep a night in a bin. There, and I'll give you my word for that. On to left backs. No, let's go centre backs. So the most obvious pick for me is John Stones. Again, he's gone from zero to hero this season at Man City. The fact he's been paired with Ruben Dias has made such a difference. He won't play with him for England, but he has shown that he's got better in the last 3 England games he's played in. I still take Harry Maguire despite his injury, but there is a chance that he could still play, so I'd take him nonetheless. And also he's going to be important because it's going to depend on who plays at no, not who plays, but more or what defensive system we go with. If we've got John Stones and Harry Maguire, we'll play 4-4-2. If we've got one of them, in this case it'll be like John Stones, then Gareth Southgate's most likely going to pick a back 3, and because obviously the other defenders centre backs aren't as good, and defensively on the full backs would probably. I think Gareth feels that we're going to be more vulnerable if we play someone like John Stones and Tyrone Mings at centre back. My other 2 centre backs, Cody. I mean, he's been brilliant at Wolves. Hasn't been this season. Wolves haven't been that good, but certainly not compared to the prior seasons. But he's certainly a player that he's got leadership. He can play centre back, right back, defensive midfield even. I'd say he's one of the most underrated England centre backs out there. I mean, if he does play, it's probably likely to be he'll play at like right centre back. Well, at least I would put him there. It might be that Gareth Southgate wants to put Kyle Walker there, but nonetheless, he's great on the ball, great defensively. He's got to be in there. And also Tyrone Mings, who hasn't been that good recently. I mean, sort of good head, and the main reason I've selected him is because he offers something that majority of our other centre backs don't have, and that's the fact he is left-footed, which I think counts towards something, and he has proven that he has played well for England in the past, so I would take him. Left back, this one's a bit more straightforward. Ben Chilwell, Luke Shaw, probably start Luke Shaw, and as a left wing back I would start Bukayo Saka, who most people would call bullshit on because he plays as like a right winger or left winger, that kind of position. Yes, he does play there, and he can play there, but he's also played at wing back, and I'm not sure if he has played at left back, but when he has played left wing back for England, he's been good. And when you look at the wingers that England have, I don't think Bukayo Saka is going to get at ahead of any of them. So if he is going to play, he's probably going to have to play at left wing back, which I think would fit well. And midfielders, let's start from defensively. Declan Rice, I mean, he's been brilliant for West Ham. Develops a lot of leadership, having been captain. He's been playing well for England too. Calvin Phillips, again, great on the ball, good, very stable ball as a midfielder. Great, very good passing. And Jordan Henderson, he's injured, so I think he'll probably recover in time. I'm not sure if he has, something like that. But either way, I would take him, but I wouldn't start him. But I think he's been there for us, and I don't think much more needs to be said. I'd also pick Mason Mount. He's very commonly associated with his attacking abilities, which are something England have benefited from, but he can do a good job defensively as well, and retrieving the ball, making passes. So I think he's a shoo-in to go in. And of course, my favourite England player at the moment, Phil Foden. What a guy he is. He is the footballer I would have been if I'd gone into professional football. I mean, what he can do for England and Man City, he's been brilliant. Great on the ball, great passing, gets attacks going, can score, can assist. I mean, what more could you want? I've said in the past that he is the best English midfielder since Lampard and Gerrard. Some might say Mason Mount, some might say Jack Grealish, depending on how you view him as. But for me, it's Phil Foden. And I'm going to get the other midfielder / winger, Jack Grealish. I mean, when he has played for England, he's been very effective, and he's had injuries, but I think he's shown enough to get him into the squad. And now we're on to proper wingers now. I'm not going to necessarily categorise right side and left side because the wingers we do have can play either side. Jadon Sancho. Oh, I forgot one more centre midfielder, which... and speaking of Dortmund, which Sancho plays for, Jude Bellingham. Very young midfielder. Should he play? Maybe. But when he has played for England, he's played very well. Dortmund rate him. He's had some good performances, and I think you've got to take him. Will James Ward-Prowse go into the squad? Maybe. I wouldn't pick him, but I can certainly see why he would go in. Back to wingers. Jadon Sancho must be very good at Borussia Dortmund. I mean, he was part of that front three in England for 2019. That was brilliant. Remember Sterling, Kane, Sancho. I mean, that was one of, if not the best, front threes out there. Also, other wingers, Raheem Sterling. I mean, he's not been playing much, but again, he's been one of our best of recent times. I think should he start? Probably not, but again, he's an option. He's well established, and I mean, he can score, he can assist. He's got great pace to him, developed strength, and not much more I can say, but for me, he goes in. Up next, we are going to turn our attention to Marcus Rashford, who can play striker, winger, good player. He's played well for England, great on the ball, he's got a great right foot to him, can score some incredible goals. Does he start? I don't know, but again, he's an option, and he's played well. I mean, he's an established player that should go in. I feel like I might be missing a winger. No, I think I've covered the four I want to pick. Harry Kane, I mean, that's the easiest shoe-in you can get. He's a brilliant player. I mean, he can even play playmaker, but as a striker, great with his head, great with his right foot. He can be quick, he can be strong, and I think he's going to be a big help for England this time around. And his record speaks for himself, and the fact he's captain means we've got to pick him nonetheless. I mean, it would have to take a very, very bad or a long-term injury for Harry Kane not to be in this squad. The other strikers, I'd go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I mean, he's no Harry Kane, but when he has played for England, he's not disappointed. Would I necessarily play him against bigger good sides if Harry Kane gets injured? Maybe. He's good, not world class, great on the ball, can score goals, very tall, and overall brilliant. I'd pick him. And another player I'd pick is a player I don't think will be there, but when he has played for England, he's done well. He's had a good season, last 2 seasons in fact. Danny Ings, just covering because of the fucking rain. Danny Ings, very big guy, has a great head. Again, he's not one that I would say can replace Harry Kane that well, even though I think physically he's better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin and can possibly match what Kane has, if not better. The pacing is a worry, but I think for me I would pick him. I mean, you could easily put in Marcus Rashford up top if Harry Kane isn't available, and I wouldn't complain. But that's my 26-man squad. Any others that could be mentioned? Michael Keane, Sam Johnston, Mason Greenwood, James Ward-Prowse, Harvey Barnes, Reece James as mentioned earlier. But that's my 26 that I would pick to go. Do you agree? Do you think they're realistic? What's your 26? I'd be interested to hear in the comments. And now I'm going to give you an update. So coming up in the last weekend of May this month, I am going to be collaborating with a YouTuber by the name of Algeria Football. It's Algeria Football, where So I'm going to be collaborating with Algeria Fan Football, which is basically the equivalent to Arsenal Fan TV, sort of. The channel itself is to promote, basically going over the Algerian national team, but to an English audience. I've secured a collaboration with him, and he and I are both going to be looking back at a past video that I've made, and that's going to that'll be uploaded sometime before the international break. So look out for that within the end of the month or beginning of June. And for the meantime, I'm gonna sign out and see you around.